Still throws me off that your time says 6:57.
I already started, so hey guys, welcome back to the Pineapple Podcast.
Cue that pre-recorded intro that we still haven't made.
Pretty much. So we got some more guests this week. We have a returning guest of Mr. Fish.
Hello.
It's great.
Ooh, I was told I couldn't scream, so.
Oh yeah, that's why you said that. Because last time wasn't that your introduction? You just like made this loud noise.
Yeah. So I'm like, keep it toned down a little bit this week.
Woo.
Just close the door. All right, and a new guest. Are you going to say something? You were introducing them, so I assumed you were going to say something.
Brandon.
Hey,
Do you know his last name?
I don't actually.
very cool. I just learned both of your names this morning.
This is
so,
true.
Brandon Aarons.
He's trying to beat out Josh for becoming friends with someone without knowing them.
Is that Josh's goal?
No, that's how we became friends with him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You didn't know Josh?
We literally said hi to him, and 2 days later we're on a road trip with him. It was great.
Josh Myers?
Yeah.
What road trip?
Blue Haven. He rode with us
Oh.
without knowing us.
Yeah, Ryan was gonna come with us, and he's like, "Hey, can my friend Josh come?" And we're like, "Sure." So we met him the Wednesday.
It was super awkward. We're like, hi.
Yeah,
hi, and then walked away.
I just like introduced myself, and then that Friday we went to go pick him up, and then we just like became friends on that road trip.
And we haven't looked back that much.
Nice.
So, all right.
Are you going to ask him the...
Guest questions?
Oh yeah, we got these great guest questions.
I had to deal with
Yes, questions.
It's a pop quiz, super hard stuff.
Very cool.
Where do you see yourself in exactly 12 years, 2 months, and 43 days?
See, it's still February, so it'll be March, so probably around March, April, May. So that'd be the end of a semester, so probably going to a graduation of someone that I know. 12 years down the line, I ought to be working, thinking I might be preaching, might be doing mission work, so that could involve travel. So I might be jet lagged, sitting in a graduation that I don't want to be at, with people that I'm supposed to love.
So, I definitely was not expecting an answer at all. That's great.
Our actual guest questions are we just have 3. It's occupation, and Jeremy just normally
/ what do you do with your time? Because most of the people we have on here, they're in school. So.
Okay. So current occupation, I mean, I'm in school, but since I'm at Sunset, I get support. And so I got a home congregation, and I got some people here in Lubbock that just give me money to learn more about the Bible so that I could go share the Bible. Then on most Sundays, I work at a retirement home, and so I'll just go do church with them. And that's amazing because old people are just thebomb.com, especially ones that don't have, and like don't take this the wrong way or anything, but like people that have dementia and stuff, it's hard to build a relationship with them when you got to reintroduce yourself every week. So these are people that don't have dementia. They're just all living in a place together. And so they just think that you are the best thing since peanut butter. I mean, you're just the greatest guy ever if you do anything for Jesus. And so that's nice. And then like every other Sunday, maybe it's like once a month, I'll go out to a little town outside of Lubbock and preach and teach and everything. And
nice.
That puts a little extra money in the pocket.
What town is that?
I've gone to Laz Buddy, which is kind of by Muleshoe, Paducah, which is way east.
Been to Paducah on purpose, just driving by.
Yeah, it's not great, but I mean, I saw a dead deer on the way, so at least you got a scenic view.
It's not great, but I preached there.
It's like a super, super tiny church. It's the like opposite of what Sunset is.
Yeah.
Sunset, you'll have worship of 2,000 people, and at Paducah, I had 15 people at worship, and all of them were like, man, I remember back in the day when we had 200 people, and I'd just be like, I'm sorry, I don't live here. I don't want you on this.
They're like, reminisce with me. I can't.
Then we like went to a buffet and stuff, and you just be Jesus. You just be super nice when you're talking with all the workers and everything, and then you'll start building relationships like that. But There's not a whole lot you could do when you're just going to be there for a morning up until mid-afternoon, then you're just going home.
Yeah.
Do you have 12 baskets left over?
Well, it was a buffet, so there's a little bit more than 12 baskets. There's just food everywhere.
That reminds me when we went to Roby to visit Bryce. Except he preaches in a small town permanently.
And he has more than 15 people. It was like, what, at least 50?
Yeah, I would say around 50. I mean, it's still not huge.
Right. That's still a good basis. With that, you can get people more involved in everything, and you kind of spread out.
Yeah, I follow his stuff on Facebook, and they've got like guys' breakfast, and they've got Amanda's also helping out with the girls' stuff. And
very cool.
They're able to have different groups and mini ministry things in there because they're big enough. And funny enough, they team up with the Baptist church that they share a parking lot with to do community outreach stuff.
Very cool.
So
when we were there, that was the funniest thing. It's like the Church of Christ and the Baptist share a parking lot. It's great because they're literally right next to each other.
And when we were there, then they were doing a fish fry at the Baptist parking lot that everyone was meeting at, or not the parking lot, the church, to support the rodeo there. So both churches had a fish fry together to support their local rodeo. It was like just perfect.
I find fish fries offensive.
Well, it was really good. Dude, you haven't eaten until you've had old ladies from a small town church make you homemade hush puppies.
Oh man, hushpuppiesthebomb.com.
Oh,
It was great. It was great. All right.
Next
Speaking
question.
of hush puppies and stuff,
Favorite food?
Man, I'm all about barbecue.
Ooh.
That J&M's right next door to Sunset is
Isthebomb.com.
that is my favorite restaurant I've ever been to in my life.
Oh, wow.
And I've gone around to like the different.
have you been to Rudy's?
Yeah, I mean I've been to Rudy's, but there's something about that being commercial. Because,
yeah.
I mean that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go, there's going to be a Rudy's, and it's good barbecue.
Yeah.
There's something about the home type feel of J&M's, and there's another one here on Slide, almost down by 82nd, and so it's a ways out. But
J&M's is the bomb.
it's delicious.
I go in there and they know my order.
It's a good thing you work next door.
It's great. I walk in there and they know exactly what two sides I'm getting.
Dude, you're gonna die of a heart attack at 35 from eating too much J&M's.
I'll see Jesus at 35.
Ooh. Well, technically, that's debatable. But if you ever have time to go out of your way and money, because their plates start at like $8 and work their way up quickly, the Shack I would recommend. It's on the way to Shallowater.
I've been to the Shack.
You have?
It was okay. It was a solid,
the atmosphere
okay
there.
place.
The atmosphere's cool.
They nailed it. When I went a few weeks ago with someone else from the Well.
Okay.
And we were chilling, and I was like, man, this is the perfect atmosphere
Yeah.
for a barbecue place. And that's something that Rudy's does really well.
Yeah.
Is they make it feel like you're sitting in a barn, and then you sit at benches, literal wooden benches.
Yeah.
And it's just so full of people. And when I went to the Shack, it was just dead. It felt like I was literally in a tin shack in the middle of nowhere eating pretty good barbecue.
Yeah, the barbecue was pretty good, like you said, but the atmosphere I like.
Oh man, they nailed it.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Have you been to Evie Mae's barbecue?
Evie Mae's? No, I have not.
I've heard that's the best barbecue in the Lubbock Wolford area.
There was one, I can't remember the name, but they call them barbecue chips, and so they'll cook some meat, and then you always have that leftover part, and they'll throw that back in the smoker, and so it gets smoked for 48 hours in total.
Ooh.
And then they give it to you, and I haven't actually seen it from my own eyes, but people will line up that morning, and so we'll say they open up at noon. People will be there at 8 to get those barbecue chips, and so you got call a week in advance to get some reservations.
Oh my goodness.
For those specifically. Everything else you can just go in like it's a McDonald's.
I've never heard of barbecue chips. That sounds amazing, but I've never had it.
Oh man, I have to try it.
Evie Mae's, I've been to quite a few barbecue places, and that's been my favorite so far.
Right.
But I haven't been to J&M either, so.
You
I'll
have to try
have to go.
J&M's.
But
Part of it
it's
is the
next door.
convenience.
I know, but I've never been.
we growing up in the youth group and stuff, we'd always have like meetings and stuff, and we're like, all right, let's just walk over to J&M. So kind of the same thing.
Did you grow up here in Lubbock?
Yeah, I've been since I was 4.
Nice.
So,
what about you? Where are you from?
I'm from here, but I did not grow up at Sunset.
Okay.
I started coming, 17? No, 17.
But yes, he's been converted over from Trinidad and Tibet.
In what?
Did you say Tobago?
Yeah.
No, I thought it sounded like you said Tibet, and I'm like, what?
Tibet, Trinidad, and
Trinidad and Tobago.
Tobago,
Travago.
All right.
or just regular Trinity.
Yeah, pretty much. What about a hobby? You have one of those?
I don't know. I don't have anything that just screams Brandon. Well, I guess not here in Lubbock. I grew up in Colorado, and so I'm all about hunting and fishing and hiking and everything. There's, like, my dad is a huge mountain guy.
Ooh, that sounds
And
fun.
so there's 56 14,000-foot mountains. And those are the tallest mountains around. And my dad did all of them and finished his last one like 3 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so I grew up doing 14ers, and I grew up going hunting and doing all that
What
stuff.
part of Colorado?
I'm from Pueblo,
Cool.
and so that's not on the top of a
That's-
mountain, but it's close to everything.
Yeah, that's pretty close to where my grandpa lives.
Where's he live?
I want to say Boulder.
Okay. I don't like Boulder very much. It's a super
It's not far
It's a colorful
It's not
place.
far from Denver City, right?
Denver City's like an hour away from Lubbock, but Denver.
I mean, Colorado. No, not Denver City.
Colorado
Denver.
Springs or Denver.
Denver. I mean, I don't know why I said Denver City.
It's I'd say 45 minutes away from Denver,
Okay.
depending on where you're
I think
starting
it's
from.
Boulder. Yeah. He's been there for several years now.
Okay.
So
It's got some pretty places around it, but the people of Boulder are crazy, and especially since like marijuana has become,
Yeah.
the big thing up there. People
Yeah.
just flock to Boulder for whatever
yeah,
reason.
you walk down there and the homeless people and the panhandlers, instead of saying,
Right.
need money for food, family,
Right.
we'll work, God bless, whatever, like you see here in Lubbock, it's like straight up need money for marijuana.
I know, dude. I'm not even exaggerating. One time I was driving through Boulder and I saw a guy walking his python. I was like, "What the heck is this place?"
What?
Oh man,
That's hilarious.
It was super weird. It was one of those like I don't know if it's albino technically, but it was white and yellow and everything. It was freaky. I don't like snakes a lot, but hey, like a python can't be light,
Bruh.
It's like carrying a golden retriever all around your body.
What the heck? That's crazy, but yeah, it's nice because it's cool that he's moved there and living there, so now we have an excuse to go up to Colorado and stuff.
Yeah.
And the first time we went, we were in love with Colorado Springs. Not
Gorgeous place.
ever being there before, being in Texas and stuff.
Right.
Going over to Colorado Springs for a week, it was fun.
Did you guys see like Garden of the Gods?
Yeah, we saw
Man,
everything.
I
Pikes
love
Peak
Garden.
is like one of my favorite things to this day. This was like
Oh, yeah.
5 years ago.
Did you guys drive up it?
The whole thing, yeah.
Nice.
Had the little cake, cinnamon donuts at the
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
When I went up there, it was foggy. I couldn't see a dang thing.
That's kind of a cool atmosphere though, because it
We
feels
went at the
like
beginning
you're in a movie.
when there was still snow at the top.
Very cool. So you guys got to see like the little marmots, like this is like the little rats that come up and just scream at you and then they'll run away.
I don't remember that.
It's
I don't
called
remember
marmot.
that.
And there's marmots and pikas. Pikas are like mice, but they live way up super high, and then marmots are a little bit bigger.
If I did see that, I didn't know that there's something special.
Yeah.
I
You
guess.
didn't notice a rat screaming at you?
Screaming rat.
I mean, they're
No,
thicky boys.
I don't remember
they're like
that.
they're like small beavers.
I don't remember this.
Did you
Is
get
it
to
like
the incline while you were there?
Yeah.
So the incline, if you start it, you could go all the way to top of Pikes Peak. And last month, my dad did a marathon to go to the top of Pikes Peak. It was like 15 miles of running
Dude,
Oh my gosh.
Like
on incline.
a third of my family was
That's gonna
just
be Sheen Sprints in 5
struggling
minutes.
Oh,
to
yeah.
keep up with the altitude of driving up there.
Oh, jeez.
So, but no, I loved it. That Pikes Peak was one of my favorite things. Like 5 years later, I still loved it.
Yeah.
I haven't got a hacky sack. This is Pikes Peak.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that whole area is super touristy just because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
So much natural stuff to do. I guess not the incline. That's a staircase.
Yeah, I think we hit Pikes Peak, Garden of the Gods, and focused on the tour of that building and doing stuff there. All three of those things in like a day.
Right. There's even more stuff to do. You
Yeah.
go right on the other side, hit Buffalo Bills. You get Cave of the Winds. That's an awesome place. There's tons of stuff you could do.
Yeah.
We could go on for days about it.
Yeah.
I have my own Cave of the Winds.
What?
Are you talking about farts?
That's what I thought.
So
what do you do when you're not in Colorado, when you're here? You have extra...
when you're here not studying or preaching.
When I'm here, all I'm ever doing is garbage homework. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because it's literally the Bible, but and I play a lot of video games when I got the time for it. I like to play sports every once in a while, go out and pick up football, or I really like volleyball. Love movies. I've been watching through with one of my friends through the Marvel cinematic stuff. I mean, that's a long time of watching movies.
That's a long time for sure.
Yeah.
I had a question, but then the lights went out and I got distracted.
Just go wave your hand in front of the sensor.
So,
or you can just go push the
gaming.
button.
Are you like Brian? He's like, cause we like, wait, he said he didn't have any hobbies, right? Don't you play video games? He's like, yeah, that's something I do. I wouldn't say it's a hobby. We're like, what? Isn't that doing it?
If I lived in a perfect world where I could spend 100% of my time just studying the Bible, then another 100% of my time playing video games, I would do that. Because I have this huge list of games that I got from like Christmas and everything, and I'm trying to beat them all while also getting all this homework done. And then sometimes I just want to sit and watch TV or something.
Yeah, that's kind of gonna be me too. Because I haven't been playing the last like 2 years or so.
Right.
Because I'm just don't have a current console. So, but
okay.
I'm just waiting for the PS5 so that I can catch up from the last 2-3 years.
Right. And
so,
of all the little information that's come out about the PS5, they confirmed one thing, that's backwards compatibility. And so
at least with the PS4.
At least with the PS4, which I am super content with.
I have a PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3.
Okay.
So all I'll need is the backwards compatibility with the 4, and go pick up these games that are still, high quality new games.
Exactly.
For $10, $15, $5.
I'm super excited for that. I have a PlayStation 2, and then I left my PlayStation 3 in Bolivia, and now I have a PlayStation 4, hoping for the 5.
Fish and I are talking to each other through the Google Docs.
It's like when Matt and Kaylee were doing that.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember. We spent a long time on guest questions, but that's fine.
We chase rabbit trails. That's like what we're best for. With the freak, James. You can put a picture in.
What is this? Fish-colored stuff?
Fish-colored stuff?
I hydro dipped.
Your headphones?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make them uncomfortable to wear?
No.
Did you do your tennis shoes?
No. I'm doing tennis shoes tonight.
You're just going to do like one thing each night?
No.
So like
the
Sunday
thing
night,
is,
you're going to do your teeth?
No, Carson might be coming over, so to hydro dip things, but I couldn't wait. I wanted to do a test run. So, if you don't know what hydro dipping is, you get like the bucket of water and you spray paint on the surface, and then when you dip things in it, the pattern will transfer onto the item. So I had to prime everything first.
Yeah.
So the paint doesn't stay on as well. It stayed on better than I thought it was going to be for this first time. So I feel like I need to prime things better and then have a better final coat with like a clear or just a better spray paint at the end to keep it stay on. So I think for my first time around it was a good go around. I did my headphones.
Looks pretty cool.
And I did my Apple Watch band. I think I left that in my car.
No, it was up here.
Oh,
I
is that
saw
what
it.
that is?
Yeah, this colorful thing.
Dang, I didn't even see that. It's behind the
But
laptop.
if you see it, paint's coming off of the back,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
just need to figure out a better way to keep that on. But it was actually a lot of fun.
Is this a career that you are gonna
No,
take
but
on?
it may be a new hobby.
Hydro dipping.
Dude, we're gonna like go back to your your house. You're just gonna have everything hydro dipped.
I'm thinking about doing like a ball cap, maybe eventually.
Your whole house is gonna look like an acid trip.
That's hilarious.
Do you know those wives that will like go to a, I don't know, like a county fair or something and learn how to make like not super valuable jewelry, and then they'll like go to someone's office and be like, does anyone want to buy this? And be like, like this is my new, not just my hobby, this is going to be my career. I could see
I'm
you.
not doing that.
You can sell your hydro dip
Bro,
stuff.
James is gonna
On
be
a
at
wish.
the art show at the well, just hydro dripping everyone's artwork.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I thought about getting like canvases,
Dude,
and
you so
spraying it
should've.
and just dipping the canvases.
That's hilarious. But no, you should just take everyone's artwork without their permission and just dip it in.
I'm not gonna.
I can tell you're the popular guy.
Yes. No. All right. What's today?
It's February 29th.
It's leap year.
Happy birthday to all those 50-year-old 4-year-olds.
Wait, is today the leap year day?
Yes, Zach.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Did you say loop year?
No leap year.
There's usually
Oh.
not a February 29th.
Well, if
What are
didn't tell
you,
me that,
Zach? What are you gonna do with this extra day you have this year?
do school because it's not an extra day.
It's false. It's an extra day.
It's not like, hey, we're gonna include an extra day of the week and we're just gonna name it something new. Like, there's 8 days this week. No, it's not how it works. I still have to go back to school on Monday.
Do you have to?
Yes.
I don't think that's true. James. What? Oh, he's like over here doing math on his phone.
Just trying to calculate how this isn't an actual day that exists.
No.
I heard something on like Thursday about it was something with balancing out time, or I can't remember. There's a scientific reason for it. I just don't remember what it was. I don't know. I'm just like, hey, it's leap year. Except it's just leap day. Unless we skip a whole year, then it could be leap year.
Skip a whole year. That would be weird.
Skip a whole year. So,
Who put these this invention down?
me.
Inventions.
This invention sounds really cool. So you need to read it off.
Wait, the 25-year-old?
Yeah.
All right. So there's this 25-year-old, and this week he had invented gloves, the like electronic gloves that turn sign language into audible speech. So it picks up and it traces and senses the signs you make while wearing the gloves, and it speaks out like after it happens. Then it forms the word and it speaks it out.
But the thing is, what if the other person doesn't know sign language? Then they can't really communicate back.
That's true, but you can wear them in situations
But they can sure talk
where
to
there's
you.
both.
I think that's kind
I
of
think
a
it's
cool
still
idea.
cool.
I think it's a cool invention.
Fish had to ruin it.
Sorry.
It's like, how does the other person communicate back?
The other person just has a whiteboard. They just draw out their stuff.
Dude, you'll be the person like in Cloudy the Chance of Meatballs when he makes the spray on shoes, and then you're like, how do you take them off? And he's like, he never can take them off. But yeah, invention. So I put it on here.
Inventions.
That's pretty cool.
Apparently the one that I thought of wasn't new, and y'all had already talked about it.
What was yours?
What was
I've
your
already
invention?
The foldable.
Wait, that's not an invention. That's just like,
A new
hey, we're gonna go
product.
do something.
What?
You're talking about the Razor phone?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of innovative. That new, because it's supposed to be like
Foldable
a
phones have
smartphone.
already been out for
No,
a year.
that's different. A foldable phone is different than what this Razor phone is.
A
Because you
flip
can,
phone is new.
no, the flip phone's not new. This Razor phone is the
It's
new
still
thing.
100% full touchscreen.
Because you could pull the whole thing out, and then you have just a long smartphone. But then you break it in half, and you have a double glass smartphone.
You
I
have
don't
a
know.
Game Boy Advance SP.
Exactly. But with there's some company coming out. I seriously think it's something like Nokia. They're making an actual flip phone for $1,500 for a flip phone. That's not. It's supposed to have smartphone capabilities.
Is it gonna be like their old ones that are just completely indestructible?
I sure hope so. But it's gonna have like actual buttons on there. And
You're saying we could chuck it out that window, it would hit the ground and be fine?
Nokia used to make.
I
a
mean,
phone
yeah,
like that.
in 2001, then that's what they were known for. That was the phone that could last anything.
that's also borderline getting brain tumors by using it. I mean, that's a dangerous age to be using cell phones.
What? I don't see how.
I missed
What?
something.
No, okay. Do you remember the big brick cell phones?
Yes.
Those were notorious for giving
Oh,
people brain tumors, and so
Why?
that's like the
transmitting
transition period.
waves?
Something like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't make the cell phone.
You should have.
I should have.
Interesting. I've never heard of that before.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it was
Man,
just
I've
the
been
90s.
hearing that like my entire life.
That gave people
But
tumors.
That's like transitional period of this Nokia cell phone that's indestructible. But I think they
Basically.
transferred it, so they stopped using this certain
haven't
type
picked
of
that up.
wave, and so they're using other stuff. But I mean, it's just like having a microwave put up to your face and you're talking through it.
Which is bad.
I don't see how you could communicate with microwaves because those are used to cook things.
But it's using waves.
It's
like
the
that.
same way we can communicate
you
with
use radio
two
waves.
tin cans and a string.
Not really.
Okay, straight up, Samsung 2021, new invention. It's just two cans with a string.
Only $2,000. That's a steal.
What if it was just two tin cans and a Bluetooth
But you know,
antenna?
3 years later, Apple's gonna make that and just
That'd
make
be
it like
hilarious.
$100 cheaper.
What if it was just a tin can with a Bluetooth antenna, and then you just speak into it and it like works with somebody else that has the tin can, but you can't really pick who. It's just everyone who has the tin can. So you're just like, hey, anybody out there? It's like, oh yeah, what up?
Have you ever used walkie-talkies before? Like the classic deal? I mean, anyone
Yeah.
could flip on that thing. And so,
Anyone can listen to what you're saying.
literally
They
anybody.
tune in on your channel.
So while we were elk hunting, I remember one year we all had walkie-talkies because we were all spread out through this mountain. And I'm not even joking, like every 2 hours we'd have to change channels just so no one would be hearing us. And so we had a card that had like at this time we're switching to this channel.
Oh my goodness.
And-
you really had to think it out.
Yeah, for real. I mean, Department of Wildlife, DOW, they would literally be in planes and they'd fly over us. Like, I mean, not just us, obviously, but like
Yeah.
everybody to see what we're doing. And they just flip through channels and listen to people. And just to make sure that no one's like poaching and, doing anything bad. But I mean, like, if you do something illegal, you're not going to talk about it over the microphone, the walkie-talkie.
Walkie-talkie.
But we were like, we got to make sure that no one's going after our game. So we got to switch to the next one.
Dang.
I don't know. I never really understood the secrecy of it. I was like, I mean, if I kill an elk, then, I mean, that's mine. Who's going to come steal my animal
That you just killed.
that I just killed? Yeah.
Yeah, because isn't that like 95% of the game is to get it yourself?
I think probably like 99.9 is go
Okay.
get it yourself.
People aren't going to be just walking around. Is there any dead animals I can just take?
Well, I mean, there are people out there that would do that. People are just idiots.
Well, yeah, for that reason, but
I mean, also for other reasons. People are just kind of weird.
people are just kind of weird. So that's why I'm going to go preach.
That's what I'm going to go preach. You're right.
What's up next?
Juul. Does that say AI? Helps you quit nicotine.
Yeah.
A cigarette that's telling you to stop smoking weed.
So what it does is the AI slowly like phases it out, but so it's supposed to be like an unnoticeable amount. And so you basically, it's just like, I guess, breaking the addiction, just slowly phasing it out until it's zero.
Is this
See,
like an app
that's
or
already a
something?
thing, but without the artificial intelligence. I got a cousin who I think he still smokes, but he was trying to quit it, and so he got an electronic cigarette, and he would put in cartridges of less doses of nicotine, and so that's already been a thing. But it's
that's
interesting
him
that they have it
thinking
automatic.
about it.
Exactly.
And
It
he, one day he could be like, yeah, actually, no, I'm going to go with this amount.
Right.
Whereas,
Isn't Juul specifically vaping?
yeah.
But vaping still has nicotine
Yeah.
within it.
Yeah, there's
That's why I
nicotine
knew
in the
that.
vape. But this is for the vape. This is, for the vape. Then
So no more cotton candy.
Isn't that technically... What states is that banned in now? I lost track. We used to keep up with that.
Vaping is actually
New
worse
York?
than cigarettes.
New York and Michigan, I know
depends.
the flavored...
It has a different effect on you.
Yeah.
It's different, yeah.
It's killed more people sooner than cigarettes have.
It's because way more people use it
Yeah,
than
that's-
cigarettes.
And it's easier to go ham on that stuff than cigarettes.
No.
You're also you're taking in way more vape than you are just smoke.
Yeah.
I've never smoked, I've never vaped before, but I've definitely seen people blowing a little stream of smoke and then a huge cloud
Yes.
of vape.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I thought that was interesting.
Is your ring Assassin's Creed?
Hmm?
What's your ring?
No, it's not. You can talk about it after the podcast.
It's a cult, he said.
It's definitely not a cult.
That's kind of cool. Cults are weird.
Cult. Hey, that's our catacombs motto. You can't say that.
What?
Deaf, not a cult.
Oh, definitely not a cult.
All right. Moving on to...
Fish-colored stuff. We already talked about that.
Nope. So we would be moving on to James.
Well, fish-colored stuff's on here, so I'm saying we're...
No,
We already talked
James
about
as in the book of in the Bible.
No, I understood what you were saying. Okay, moving on to James.
All right.
Uh,
Are you reading 26 and 27?
yeah, I'm gonna read James
So,
chapter 1, verse
We
26
talked
to 27.
about the beginning of this a little bit last week. We talked about the differences between temptations and trials. I feel like the first 19 verses. So today we're moving on a little bit. Take it away.
Verse 26. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. So that's a lot of information packed into 2 verses.
So why'd you pick? We read over like what 8, 9 verses last night. Why'd you pick these 2 specifically to talk about?
I thought they were the most interesting and something that could easily get glossed over. So, the verse 26, those who consider themselves religious and do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and it says their religion is worthless. So, what does it mean to keep a tight rein on your tongue? And if you don't, how does that make your entire religion worthless? Like, that statement's pretty bold if you think about it.
It's pretty bold. So mine says does not bridle his tongue.
Yeah.
And so obviously just about means the same thing, but a lot of this is self-control here, and so I don't think this means specifically with your tongue. I mean, I think it is like sort of simple as for your entire existence. Everything that you're doing, you got to have a
You're
good
communicating, so it's more of like overall communication than like talking. Is that what you're
Right,
saying?
but I mean, a lot of it has to do with your actions. And so, say for example, I consider myself to be a super religious person, and I read my Bible every single day, and I go to church every single Sunday, and I give my $20 to the church.
You take all the church bulletin notes.
I take all of them.
All of them.
But then I'm like going to the strip clubs and smoking on the corners and everything where people are seeing me. Now, also doing that by yourself, you got an integrity problem going on there. But in front of people, you're just openly doing that. There's a lot of contradiction going on between that. And so if we take this to the context of just your tongue, and we say, I'm a super religious person, I'm doing all this stuff, even if you're not doing all this stuff in the background, you're just at church and talking with these people, but you're talking about these people behind their backs. You're unbridling your tongue. You're letting it be this super powerful weapon that's hurting people behind their backs and in front of their faces. Then your religion is worthless. And what really brings my attention to this verse is how it talks about your religion is worthless. Because throughout the Bible, a lot we don't talk about just the religion part of it. A lot of times we talk about your relationship with God, this one-on-one deal, your fellowship with other people, but we don't talk about the whole religion part of it. And I know people that say, I'm not a super religious person, I just love God, and I love reading my Bible. And then you read verses like this, and you go, clearly. You know? And so, I think having a tongue that's guiding you in one way while you're saying you have religion, you're not just You're not just living a fake life. You are confused morally.
Yeah.
We're gonna bust out the Greek here because we've been studying it. So the Greek word that they use for bridle is I don't know how to pronounce it. Chalinagogio.
Okay.
That was probably very, very bad.
Is that like a Yu-Gi-Oh card?
But it says, well, of course, to bridle, but also it gives the definitions to hold in check or to restrain. So if you're not really thinking about, and I'm not saying that this is like, you can't, like, there's still that argument about what you should say, what you should not. I think this is more like when you should say certain things and stuff, holding that in check, being appropriate when you say certain things around certain people.
So like, check your heart, but this version, or in this case, check your tongue.
Did you make a John Christ reference?
Maybe.
You have a tongue check.
What?
Tongue check.
Tongue check.
Yeah.
But like I said, because you see those, there's so many arguments about, what can be said, what couldn't. And I think specifically in this verse, it's talking about when you say things, having that self-control. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you can go around cussing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not trying to support that. But I think this verse is talking about.
You're not the cussing rights activist?
No.
Interesting.
I like what Brandon said. It goes along with like the verse 22 on. It says like, do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourself, do what it says, and anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in the mirror and after looking at it goes away and immediately forgets what he sees. So I feel like that goes hand in hand with this. It's like, oh, you go to church every day, but then you turn around and you act completely different.
Because then it's like,
So-
well, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point of going to church then if you're just going to
Right.
turn around and do something opposite?
So can you apply this to other things that's not necessarily religious?
What do you mean?
Okay, say for example, we'll say we're all tech people. Like we're all, hardcore tech people. We even go to tech. And so at tech campus, we're talking about how much we love tech.
I thought you were talking about technology for a second.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, what?
I meant Texas Tech.
Okay.
I'm going to a tech game after this, and so I got tech on my mind. So say we're all Texas Tech people and everything. And so while we're at school, we're saying, man, go tech. And then the second we take a step off campus, what's tech's rival? I don't even know.
UT.
UT.
of Texas.
We take off our tech things and we're wearing
Is it
UT stuff, and then
also
suddenly everyone around us
Not bad,
starts
though.
thinking bad of us because we're saying one thing, or we're just being hypocrites. Is the
Yeah,
thing.
hypocrites. Which happens a lot. And yeah, I don't think this is the question you're asking, but that does happen outside of just religion.
That's exactly what I'm asking.
Okay,
And
yes.
so, in what cases can we apply this?
So you're saying more
Well,
than just religious?
More than just
I
religion.
could apply it to work. I work in real estate, and so
Interesting.
I could be saying, my Bible is like, yeah, I do business this way. I treat people like this way. I'm good about communicating. Talk it all up and stuff, and then start working with them and just fall off the radar and not do business the best. And that's one way. Off the top of my head, an example outside of religion and sporting teams.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. You can be hypocritical about things outside of religion.
And you could be hypocritical
You mean
just with
anything.
friendships. I'm gonna loosely use friendships. Just I guess your community of people that you kind of talk around. And so, say for example, we talk really good with James here, and then when James leaves, we talk really bad about him. That has no
That fish
religious
can't
thing.
swim to save his life.
Hey,
You just knocked Bryce Willis on the ground.
Christ. Yeah, this reminds me of two verses. So 1 John 1, 6 and 7. If we say we have fellowship with him, that's being God, while we walk in darkness, we lie and we do not practice the truth. So you're not only lying to yourself, but you're lying to the world around you. Mm-hmm. And then verse 7 is kind of the popular one. But if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another, and the blood of Jesus, his son, cleanses us from all sin. So if you're being honest with yourself and you are just right with Jesus, then you are cleansed. I'm almost saying cleansed.
Cleansed.
You're cleansed. And so, I think this verse and that verse go hand in hand. Being hypocrites, that's kind of a scumbag thing to do, whether you're religious or not.
Yeah.
I have to agree. Let's move on to verse 27. Religion that our God, our Father, accepts as pure and faultless is this, to look after the orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. So we had a talk about if this is talking about actual widows and orphans or like widows and orphans spiritually.
Sorry. We
I'm
were
gonna
talking
ask-
about something. What did you say?
Oh, the widows and orphans. If
Oh.
it's like actual widows and orphans, or if it's like widows and orphans spiritually.
Or maybe like he's giving an example of undefiled religion, but there's still a lot more. Possibly.
Explain.
Like, he says undefiled religion is this, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction and to keep oneself unstained from the world. Maybe that's just one example of undefiled religion. Possibly.
So
And-
a religion that puts other people before yourself.
Yeah, that could be. But yeah.
So more of like being a servant
Mm-hmm.
than just going to visit widows and orphans in general.
And it also could be maybe like taking care of the young and the old, because it's a huge spectrum here.
Mm-hmm.
Starts off talking about orphans and then goes on to widows. That's a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
Young and the old, lonely and the unlonely. Wait, that unlonely, is that even a word? I don't know. The lonely and the people with company. Just everyone.
Mm-hmm. So do you have to, in order to have religion or to be religious, do you have to have these two aspects?
Which two aspects are you talking about? Sorry.
Orphans and widows.
Do you have to go and visit the orphans and widows to be religious? Is that what you're asking?
Religion that is pure and undefiled or perfect before God is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction. Do you have to have these two things?
Does it come over the bridge? That's the term that we use in hermeneutic.
Does it? What do you mean? Does it come over the bridge?
As in, the command that he was given here, does it come over the bridge? Does it apply to
What's the
us
bridge?
today?
Oh, okay, I got you.
Huh?
What is the bridge? You gotta explain that part.
I thought it was just an expression.
No, the bridge is the time gap in between.
Ah.
This is 1st century, we're in 21st century.
I didn't know that's what the bridge was. I thought it was just an expression.
Just an expression.
Good.
What do you think? Do you have to have these two things?
I mean, I would say you don't have to go visit widows and orphans to be a good Christian. You could do a lot of other things.
So we could definitely
You could
apply
go-
other things to this.
Yeah.
And can we replace these things with it? Or do you think they just sit side by side and you just pick whichever one you want?
No, I think you could definitely like
It
use
was
this as
like
an example.
The,
of
yeah,
other
the
things to do.
example. And it's just like the example they use for what he was talking about of how we need to be thinking and acting.
So what about this verse makes you say, I can apply other things to this?
Do you have pulled up?
Religion is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this: to visit orphans and widows in their affliction, to keep oneself unstained from the world.
Actually, no, it is kind of pretty straightforward.
Well, I'm not leaning to one side or the other, saying you have to have these two aspects and you can't add anything else. But I kind of want to explore this part to it. What do we see in this that we say, oh, I could definitely put in other stuff. I could go do homeless ministries and stuff with this verse.
I think it's like I said earlier. It's an example of being a servant.
Okay.
Like, I think that's what the verse is hitting at.
Mm-hmm.
Not just going to visit the widows and orphans.
Okay, expand on that. Where do you get that part from? The servant.
It's religion that our God our Father accepts as pure and faultless. So, I guess using other scripture to back this up, it's nowhere does it say, as long as you go serve widows and orphans, you're good. With it saying this, I can infer that it's an example of how God wants us to act.
Okay. I like it. And so if we take this last part to it, keeping oneself unstained, or you said like not polluted from the world, what does pollution of the world look like to us?
So, I think first we should define what the world is.
Okay, what's the world?
So I guess in
Anything outside the kingdom of God?
I think it's like the collective system of sin. Well, I guess it's just any collective system of sin of people. So
Okay.
it's people that do things that are not in line with God's will.
Okay.
And it's usually defined as a group. So you could have a group of people. It's usually not defined by just one person.
Okay. So
So
what is sin? Just give me a basic definition of what sin is.
Disobeying God's commands.
Okay, that's a good one. What do you got for that? Basic definition.
I would say anytime you're doing something that doesn't line up with God's will.
Okay.
Missing the mark.
That's what I was going to bring up. From what I understand, that's the generally accepted definition of sin. Is just missing the mark. So God says, "I want this," and if you land on that, you have done it. You have hit the mark, and you are not sinning. But if you miss that, if you do something else that God has not said, "This is what I want," then that would be sin.
Right.
And so, if we're living in this world of people that are sinning, that are missing the mark, perhaps they have good intentions on glorifying God, but they're doing things in a different way. And so that's kind of the thing that we ought to be cautious of when looking at verses like this, when it says, "Go visit the orphans and the widows." Well, what else can we do to that where we're not missing the mark, but we're still glorifying God and still being these servants? And so, if we're in this world of pollution and staining ourselves with this sin, what would that look like? By using this general definition of missing the mark.
Wait, so you mean like what would it look like if you were to become polluted by the world?
Yeah.
I would say definitely for us churchgoers being hypocritical. That's
Okay.
what it usually looks like.
There you go.
Because we usually go to church on Sunday, we do all of the things that a Christian should do, but then we act differently outside of that.
Okay.
So I feel like that's where the pollution of the world affects our lives, because we start going with the things that are the norm.
Okay.
It's like our goals and what we're trying to accomplish doesn't line up with their goals and what they're trying to accomplish.
Right. And when we make our goals their goals, then we're kind of getting polluted by the world.
Interesting. What do you have to say about that one, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still trying to get on first name basis. Which question were you referring to?
Still talking about what does it look like to be polluted by the world of people that are missing the mark that God has made.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's what I was thinking about, was the hypocritical, since that's what we were talking about just a few
Okay.
minutes ago. So that's exactly what I first came to mind. I don't know of anything to add to that right now.
Mr. Fish, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
Okay.
I've been trying to look for a verse forever. Cannot find it.
It's fine.
But yeah, no, we'll just leave it like that.
Okay, I think that's a pretty good breakdown of kind of like the overall view of what, I guess I could read, what God our Father accepts as pure and faultless. Like this kind of behavior is what he wants from us.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you are trying to not be polluted by this world, you're striving to find what God wants, and what's the word? It's like tweaking your life to get closer and closer to this image that God has made for us, to be this. And so the application of this is read your Bible more, to learn more about what God wants, so that you don't be polluted by this world, and so that you can have more control over your tongue.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. Does anyone else have anything to add on this before we move on?
Sounds good.
All right, making a quick turn, moving into food. It's totally
Talking
different
about the
topic.
tongue, going into food.
This is true.
Lucky
Right.
Charms cocoa.
Wasn't that
Yes.
already a thing?
I don't know. I just saw it this week.
You've never seen chocolate Lucky Charms before?
No. See? You don't know what this is. This is new. You had me scared there for a second. So, like,
What are these?
they're making hot chocolate mix
Oh.
with Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I understand.
I want this
is
now.
weird.
Right?
I don't like the Lucky Charms marshmallows though.
What? Why?
Hey,
So-
all right. I was about to say I'm kind of the minority. I'm not a crazy Lucky Charms guy.
Yeah, I'm
But
not
so-
either.
You
I'm
two
not
can
very
exit
happy.
the building and Fish and I will continue.
He has to be home by a certain time, anyways.
I'm like a cinnamon toast crunch kind of a guy.
Okay.
I do like.
I like cinnamon
I had
toast
that
crunch.
a little bit.
Frosted Flakes.
I was about to say, I'd probably take that over Frosted Flakes. But nowadays, it has gotten crazy the last year. I don't know if y'all have noticed this.
Lucky Charms things.
Sugar cereal.
Interesting.
They've crossed and teamed up, and
Made
3
other
brands of cereal make one. They've got
Really?
they've had every kind of cereal has been frosted
Crossovers.
at this point. Every kind's
cereal
been
crossovers.
yeah. They've had like Frosted Flakes with Lucky Charms marshmallows and frosted cinnamon toast crunch, and it's like, what do you end?
Cool.
I think the most blandest cereal is Honey Nut Cheerios.
I
Even
love
then,
Honey Nut
they
Cheerios.
have
Dude, you gotta
frosted
get
Honey Nut
not just the
Cheerios.
regular honey nut. You gotta get like the chocolate ones and everything.
I don't like the chocolate Honey Nut
Oh.
Cheerios because I don't know. Like
But the thing
chocolate's
is,
already
when that's
sweet enough,
all
but then
your
if
mom
got honey
gives
with
you
it,
for
I mean,
breakfast growing up between elementary school to middle school, and that's all you get to eat.
I think my favorite cereal growing up was Frosted Mini Wheats.
Yeah, I
Those
never
are really
got
good.
those.
Strawberry ones are good.
Forget about it. Those are good.
My
Strawberry ones are
parent,
good.
my mom didn't give me the good stuff. Mom, if you hear me, you broke the Fourth Amendment. No cruel and unusual punishment.
So with Honey Nut Cheerios, that kinda
Cheerios?
got, yeah, that kind of got ruined for me because
What?
every time I hear or like I see that and smell that, I think of babies, and babies kind of gross me out.
No. That's regular Cheerios.
I mean, any Cheerios.
Oh.
I'll smell it and just think of like a baby that literally has just duked in his diaper. And now I don't want to eat. Congratulations, you ruined my appetite
right.
for the smell of Cheerios.
But no, we never had like sugar cereal for breakfast growing up. It was always like a dessert, like a snack later on in the day. It was like, oh, dinner, it's late at night, you already had dinner. Oh, let's go get some Lucky Charms or Captain Crunch or
I
something.
can see like having a fancy like formal dinner and you like serve your steak and everything. Like, all right, time for dessert. You like
Get
got your
some
Lucky
Lucky
Charms.
But yeah,
There was one
never-
time we were in Phoenix, and Titus was eating soup while I was eating cereal for dinner.
That's great. But no, Raisin for breakfast. If it was breakfast, then it was Cheerios or like Raisin Bran or like healthier cereal.
Dude, I love Raisin Bran.
Yes. So recently I saw they had banana Raisin Bran where they had the banana chunks in it, and it was terrible.
Have you had that apple chunk one? Or it's like apple crunch?
No, for Raisin Bran,
Yeah.
I have not.
They'll get like granola crunches in there and then little things of apple. That's my favorite. But it was like a limited time only because
Yeah,
good things have to come to an end, I guess.
apparently. So,
What's the next thing?
birthday Kit Kat.
What is that?
So like birthday cake Oreos.
You.
Please don't tell me. Birthday flavored, like the
Like birthday cake flavored
Birthday
Kit
flavor.
Kat.
Why?
You.
That actually sounds good.
I like birthday cake Oreos.
I don't.
What? They're amazing.
James and I were actually talking a little bit about this on the way here about just birthday cake stuff. I'm not a huge birthday cake. I'm not like a cake guy. I'm
Same.
a pie guy.
I like both.
I'm not a birthday cake person either, but birthday cake Oreos I really like.
Really? I don't think I've even had it because
They-
I know I'm not crazy about birthday cake.
I'm not.
I know this isn't on the list, but we drove here, and they have a Brahms opening up.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
I didn't know that there's a Freddy's over here too.
There's I think
We got
it's
a couple
7 locations, 7 Brahms locations opening up in the Lubbock area.
Brahms has the best chocolate milkshakes, in my opinion.
Brahms is crazy good.
I still like Baskin Robbins.
I like their
Lollipops.
fries.
I haven't been to Brahms in a while. It's been a couple of years.
Have you guys ever gotten French fries and eaten it with ice cream?
Yes.
No, I don't. That idea just I don't
I
know.
do that with the Frosty at Wendy's.
Yeah, that's where I learned it at. And I took that down to Bolivia, and people thought I was crazy
You
until
went
they
there?
tried it.
Until
and
they
were
tried
like,
it.
"What the heck is this?" And so we used to break up into teams. So we'd say, "All right, you guys get the fries. Go to different fry places. We'll get the ice creams, and then bring it back." And we had a big potluck deal of fries.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Hashtag aim at its finest. That's great. Bring over the culture.
Yeah, for real. That was awesome.
That's funny. So now other people are gonna come over there, and they're just gonna have just mountains of fries and ice cream.
Yeah, for real.
And they're gonna be like, "Is this some weird culture thing?" That's hilarious. So, Dunkin' is selling snack and bacon, and it's literally just bacon in a bag. It's just like a bag, like a French fry bag, like the paper ones. Instead of being filled with fries, it's just filled with cooked bacon.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
Do you guys have a favorite type of bacon?
cooked.
Bacon.
Nice. Like
From a specific place, or you mean like a brand?
anything. What's your favorite bacon?
Uh,
In a perfect world, how is bacon for you?
Extra thick, peppered, fresh from the farmer's market.
Peppered. I like that. I'm a maple bacon kind of a guy.
We have to disagree here.
Really? You don't like it?
No.
Dude, I
If I have
love it.
If I have bacon with pancakes on a Sunday morning or something, I have to keep my bacon separate from my pancakes because I can't stand it when the maple syrup gets on my bacon.
What the heck?
I hate it. I don't know why.
I intentionally dip my. Never mind. I intentionally dip. What's the word? Sausages and bacon and stuff in the syrup.
What were you going to say?
can you not guess?
I was gonna say I intentionally dip my meat in the in the sauce.
But I don't know. Bacon's amazing.
I don't know.
We can agree on that. Bacon is good.
Bacon's so good.
What's next? Oh,
A fry burger?
fry burger.
Is this fried burger or French fries in a burger?
It's from Burger King. And so it's a burger. You get your mayonnaise. Or you got the bun. You got your mayonnaise. Your mustard, ketchup, whatever. In the middle is just a stack of fries, and then you get your other bun, and that's it.
Wait,
no
So there is no meat?
Nope, it's Burger King.
Interesting.
that doesn't sound like a burger.
So it's
Sounds like
it's
a fry
It's
sandwich.
a fry burger.
Sounds like
And so
potato
on
sandwich.
Twitter, Wendy's was like, it's been a week since I saw this. They said something like, yeah, so, oh yeah, they said yeah, because anything's better than y'all's meat.
Oh yeesh. Wendy's is the most savage thing on Twitter I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah, so it was great.
I mean, I think I'd try it. I'm open to try anything.
Yeah,
Okay, that's not true. Any edible thing.
any edible thing. So, I just don't think you won't have the protein afterwards. I just ate a whole burger and then.
I mean, there's not a whole lot of protein to start
but
out
it's still
with.
meat.
I mean, more than just a potato, yes,
Yeah.
you're right. But we gotta remember, this is still Burger King. What kind of
Impossible
unusual
Whopper.
foods have you eaten that's not just trash talk in a restaurant?
Rabbit head with the head still on it
You ate a rabbit head with a head still on it?
in Mexico at a potluck.
Well, to eat a rabbit head, I think you have to have the head.
Okay, it was
how
rabbit.
did that look like? Did you just eat it like a grape?
So,
Or like an apple, I guess?
no. So, it was just rabbit. It was in this pink sauce.
Okay.
And you turn it over, and not all of ours was like this. Mine actually wasn't. Mine, then the rabbit had been cut off and stuff. But then someone didn't want it or something, and I was taking someone else's. I was switching because it was a potluck, so we threw different things on, and they didn't like what they got, so we were switching. And I turned over the head, or I turned over like the rabbit meat just to be able to cut it better, and it was the head. So I still had like eyes and everything, you know.
And you ate it.
I picked at it because that was lunch for the day, and you know we're at the potluck that they made the food and stuff.
Right.
So you know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to like picture that in my head.
And cow tongue. Cow tongue.
I love
On the street.
Dude.
On the street.
That's
a
really popular
delicacy in
there.
Bolivia. I ate it all the.
I had it once. It was the first place we pulled up, super late. We get to Mexico. Chris Joe. All right, first thing we're doing, eating cow tongue. So we're on this. The restaurants are like on the streets, kind of.
I can see Chris Joe doing that.
And everyone's like, I don't want to taste something that can taste me back.
Oh, ew. So for 4th of July, my home congregation does a big potluck every year, and we'll get like a pig.
Ooh.
And I got a buddy that's got this huge grill. He made it out of a big propane deal.
Oh, nice.
And so we'll cook this pig almost like Hawaiian style, and it's just a full deal. And so
Sounds
afterwards, we're like taking out all the pulled pork and everything, and it's like tradition for me to take out the tongue and just take a bite out of the tongue and then pass it down to the next person.
Oh.
Interesting.
I'm not even joking. That's some of the best pulled pork I've ever had.
Oh, I believe it.
It's ridiculous.
That sounds good. Better than J&M.
I don't think I've had pulled pork from J&M's before. I've had their ribs and brisket and everything. I don't think I've
Their
had their
chuck
pulled
brisket
pork.
is amazing. That whole place.
Ridiculous.
They have good mac and cheese. Side note.
What else we got?
All right, last up on the food, solid mayonnaise.
I literally said don't.
What is solid mayonnaise?
James typed don't, just don't. Do you not like mayonnaise?
No, I'm saying don't talk about what solid mayonnaise.
So, have you ever just, been making a sandwich, you got your assembly line, you got your sliced ham, you got your sliced cheese,
Is it just a
you
slice
got
of
your
mayonnaise?
sliced mayonnaise.
No,
No.
Ew.
I've never wanted to do that. I never wanted
feel
to
like-
slice
Is this an actual
Solid.
thing?
Yeah, it's new. I feel like solid mustard would be better. I don't know. That'd be crusty though. I don't know if
Well, I know a lot of people that are just crazy about ketchup, and I think that'd be a dangerous game if we made solid ketchup and you could just like peel it off like string cheese.
Nah.
I could just picture David peeling off ketchup and putting it on his pizza.
David, who?
Aguilar.
Isn't
I
there
didn't know
already?
he likes.
Isn't there already ketchup on your pizza?
Who's marinara?
He's a weird.
different.
He likes ketchup on a lot of things.
Cereal? I knew someone put ketchup in their cereal.
That's
gross.
Do you know
disgusting.
how mental you have to be to put ketchup in your cereal?
Ew.
Are you talking like mental or mental?
Yes.
They're crazy mental.
Ah,
I can
What?
picture it being like, how there's like a block of cheese. You buy a block of cheese and you
Like the
grate it.
Velveeta? Oh.
Yeah.
No.
But like you grate your mayonnaise on your.
shredded mayonnaise.
Oh, that's super uncomfy.
oh.
I don't even think you could do that.
I don't even like to picture it.
So we got about 20 minutes or so left before we need to end this. Is that correct?
We have a lot of stuff to go through still. Ish.
All right.
We gotta just hit this.
What?
Hit this hard.
Fast facts. Okay. All right. So I put this on just because I thought it was crazy. It's a concept phone, and it's not. They don't even have the prototype out yet. It was just footage of it. But the Apex 2020 concept phone, it's got no ports, no buttons, and the screen curves around even more than Samsung's old phones used to. Like, we're talking borderlining the back of it. It's got
That's
a 60 watt
So it
battery.
has to be wireless charging?
Yeah.
That's
that
dumb.
sounds hard to hold.
Right?
Like on my phone, I got a case, a screen protector, and a pop socket because I don't want to break my phone.
I was going to say, that's a lot of things.
I know. I go overboard on my phones because I spent like $400 on this thing. I'm not gonna break it.
Right.
The back of mine's cracked, but other than that, nothing. So once it cracked, I was like, I need a secure case.
Well, see, the thing about this is that they have to pretty much make the glass indestructible because if you put a case on it, you can't use the side of the phone, which is a feature.
Yeah, so they're going to spend, $1,000 to make this perfectly designed phone, and then some producer from Wish is going to be like, here's a 50-cent screen that covers the whole, or case that covers the whole thing up.
Pretty much.
It wouldn't work very well. But
You ever see those videos where people will just destroy a phone? I want to watch them just destroy this. I mean, it'd be the same as just throwing a piece of glass on
you
the
want it
ground.
professionally destroyed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sort of. I want someone to get on a camera, like a good quality camera.
That's hilarious. Alright. Zach's got a book.
Yeah. I'm not all the way through it yet, but this is a really interesting book. It's called The Unseen Realm. Who added text to this? Have you seen the book?
It's called Unseen.
Oh.
Unseen
I did that
Realms.
before we started.
Have you seen it?
I've seen the cover of it. If that's what you're asking.
Well, what's this book
Tell
about?
us about this book.
I guess in the most broad description possible, it's about how the Hebrew to English translation of Old Testament has lost a lot of meaning. So it kind of goes through a lot of stuff that we don't pick up on and explains it.
Okay.
That's a very simple way of describing it, but it's very, very interesting.
Do you speak another language?
No.
Okay.
Well,
That's-
I mean, I kind of speak Spanish, but not that well.
So, there are some words in Spanish that I could say it and not be able to really translate it to you. I could give you
The best
kind of
description.
examples
Yeah.
of what I'm trying to say, but I'm not able to describe that to you. So I wholeheartedly agree with like Hebrew losing a lot of its emphasis through coming to English. Because English, while it is a formal language, it's kind of boring. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of passion in English, I don't think. It's just kind of like, here, we're getting down to business, and I could tell you things on a very scientific level and stuff. But something like Spanish, where you're just playing around, and it sounds almost like you're just talking in song all the time.
Right. So one of the things I really liked about the beginning of this book is how he introduced it. It's doctor as in doctorate in biblical studies, and it's peer reviewed. Like, this is something that he sent to other professionals that have researched Hebrew and stuff and has had it peer reviewed. Cool. This is not just, this is my personal take.
Right.
This is a peer reviewed thing that is commonly accepted amongst scholars.
Awesome.
So that's what I really liked about when he introduced it. I'm like, hey, I'm going to take this as, I'm not going to say it's fact, but, you know, it's a scholarly article almost.
So is it kind of like it takes it verse by verse, and it'll say, here's this word, and let expand on it and stuff?
It, not quite. It's more like a, so the first bit he talks about, like in Genesis 3, where it's like, let's make man in our image, and a lot of people think that it's like the Trinity, but he explains how it could not be referring to that. It talks about in Job, where it talks about the divine council and how there's a lot of other things in, for lack of a better word, spirit world that we don't talk about and don't read about, and a lot of these things get lost in translation.
Interesting.
So, as the name implies, the unseen realm, that's the majority of what it talks about.
Covers both of those examples, though, right?
Well, the Bible Project, they had this guy interviewed on their podcast, which is where I had the book is referenced. They recommended it on the podcast, so I picked it up and I'm like, hey, I'm going to read this book. Super, super interesting.
So it's where the Bible Project gets some of their information?
Yeah, this is where the Bible Project gets some of their information from, is this guy.
Okay.
Interesting.
It's pretty long. I think it's over 15 hours of a listen if you listen
Whoa.
to audiobooks. There is a condensed version of this book. I don't remember what it's called, though. If you're someone that just doesn't want to spend that much time listening to someone explain Hebrew, there's just a condensed version of just the basic stuff.
Seems legit.
But I definitely recommend picking it up if you are a Bible nerd.
Bible nerd.
Very cool. That sounds interesting. I'll have to take a look at it.
Can you like self-identify as that? I self-identify as a Bible nerd.
I self-identify as the government. You should pay me taxes.
No, thank you. All right, we got some video game news. Samurai Jack video game coming out this summer, and the animation.
I heard about that.
The animation sticks with like the classic cartoon. So
And that's dope.
yeah, I thought that'd be pretty fun.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
Have you seen that video of the guy that's making his own Avatar game?
Nope.
Wait, which Avatar? Like the blue people Avatar?
No, like
Last
the-
Airbender
Oh, I was
Last
thinking that's what I was
Airbender.
thinking too. Airbender.
It's got like a very comic look to it, and it looks almost identical to this. But it's a single guy making his own game. And so when I
Dang.
first saw the trailer for this, I was like, holy crap, it seriously looks like it's made by the same guy.
Wow.
It's really cool.
That's impressive. Well, right now, if only you had your PS3 still and it wasn't below you, you could get PlayStation Plus for a whole year, 42% off.
Wow. Oh, I still have PlayStation 4, so I can still get it for...
But you can still get it for 42% off for a whole year.
I think my PlayStation Plus is wrapping up towards the end of this month. I think.
Well, $34 for the next year.
That's what I'm talking about. $60 is a lot of money
For a year?
for a year. Yeah, it's crazy. It
Pretty
used
sure
to be,
Xbox is more expensive.
It used to be
Wait,
with
no, it's
PlayStation
about
for like $40 for the whole year, and then for whatever reason
This is still better.
they picked it up. Oh, it's way better. Yeah, for real.
So, alright, what is a video game? We gotta go quick on this so we can hit everything. What is a video game crossover you would want to see?
Let me think about it.
Alright.
That's a really hard question.
Video game crossover. I'd like to see.
James, what's a video game crossover you want to see?
I already said mine. Resident Evil and Viva Pinata.
You just said that off the air, though.
Well, I'm saying it now. Or Resident Evil and Animal Crossing.
You're like picking those random things. What's the appeal of that for you?
So, you have these little cute little creatures. And then you have these zombies that just come out, and then these real cool guys just shooting all the zombies, protecting the little cute animals. How is that not appealing?
Hey, all right. Mine would be a mix of Double Dash with Minion Dash.
The iPhone game?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. What do you got? Mine would probably just be like Uncharted, a cross of Uncharted and Tomb Raider.
Those
So
are
it's
both
like-
almost
They're
identical.
the same
I know.
game!
So just imagine like a combo of those two games.
Okay, that's not
No,
that great.
it'd probably
actually.
be like Uncharted with Call of Duty or something.
That would be interesting.
Uncharted mixed with Halo.
I would say something like Halo crossover with Star Wars, like a Battlefront style Halo game.
Oh, Super Smash Bros.
Energy Sword.
Mixed with Star Wars. Like a Super Smash Bros. Style fighting game, but with Jedis.
They have that.
So like PlayStation All Star Battles.
No, it's called Star Wars Episode 3. They made it for the PS2. It was a battle, it's like a fighting style game.
I watched John trying to play that game.
Who hasn't watched JonTron play something?
Dude,
I haven't watched
John
John play
is
something.
Well,
he is my
Well, I haven't sat. My roommates may have been
Jontron's
doing it.
hilarious.
man, he needs to do more.
hey,
I think I'd like Battlefront 2, like the 2005 version,
Yeah.
but with like superheroes. I think that could work really well. I'm sure it's out there. People have modded that game to no extent.
yeah, for sure.
Oh wait,
So the Battlefront?
all extent. No extent
no
would be the
extent.
vanilla game.
So Battlefront 2 style with just superheroes?
Yeah.
Like you just pick any hero you want?
Well, yeah.
They all
So,
have, like, custom
so
abilities?
have you played the first Battlefront 2 when
Yeah.
it came out?
Yeah.
A long
course,
time
yeah.
ago. And
I
so
have
the
that.
gameplay of that is
Love
just
that game.
unreal. And so you got the different classes and everything. So you just pick your Captain America, your Iron Man, your Hulk, your Black Widow, your Hawkeye. You're everything.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
And then
Can I be Batman?
I mean, shoot, whatever. Let's make a DC version of it too. Let's have your
Or we
Batman,
could
your
just,
Superman,
like,
your Flash.
not-
That would be pretty cool.
That would be super awesome. Man, modding games is amazing.
Do you play on PC?
I do. I got
I was gonna say, for someone that likes to mod games, you said you talk about PlayStation. So
I I don't mod my games. I'm
Skip the
too
meme.
scared of viruses and everything, and so if someone has the mod and they'll give it to me, I'll take it. I don't really do that.
Gotcha. What are you doing?
Saving time.
Oh. So we're skipping this other stuff.
We're skipping weird facts that don't make sense and
Ideal.
What'd you skip?
I just deleted the
Okay.
ideal section.
We're running out of time.
So
rapidly.
no Virgin
Yeah,
Mary
true.
being tried as a witch.
You can still say it.
Virgin Mary, a statue of Virgin Mary got tried as a witch. I don't understand that. All right, moving on.
All right. Bad inventions. Holy water on Amazon.
What is that?
Fact. You can buy holy water on Amazon that is pre-blessed by a priest, and for your peace of mind, the priest will include an official certificate of authenticity, proving or stating that it's been pre-blessed and it is in fact holy water.
Dude, we can just say we're a priest and sell it and
for
make
you
money.
guys.
Chris Show just like orders it on bulk.
Oh my gosh.
So if you ever need holy water that they can prove has been pre-blessed by an official priest.
And this might be chasing a rabbit hole, and we probably shouldn't expand on it too much just due to time. But something kind of along these lines, at least what made me think of this, is VR chat, the really crazy, ridiculous game. There was a priest that started baptizing people in that game, and so they float up the most beautiful. It's just like an ocean.
In the Jordan River.
And you just stand there, there's glorious sunset,
At
and
the
he's
top
like
of
baptizing
Pikes Peak.
anime girls.
What?
You're like, oh, yeesh. That's what made me think of that. Is
I don't think
selling
that-
this holy water and then going to VR chat and baptizing more people.
That's
I
one of the
don't
funniest
think-
things.
The VR version works.
Are you sure? That's hilarious though.
Second Opinions 5.5. You can baptize through VR chat.
We should talk about the book of Second Opinions next time.
Alright. TV shows. We gotta talk about the new Clone Wars.
Yes.
Every Friday,
Bless you.
new episode. Second
It
episode
sneeze.
came out yesterday. Chew. Alright, so I assume have you watched both of them?
Heck yes.
Okay.
I've actually seen both these episodes because if
Same.
you remember years ago, they released them unfinished on StarWars.com.
Yes.
And so I watched them years ago. And
I didn't watch them then.
I was freaked out by the big reveal of this last episode
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
the unfinished version is genuinely creepy.
Oh dang.
And so I was like, my heart was like kind of
Oh, when
beating
he
a little
comes out
faster.
of the chamber, I'm guessing is what
Yeah.
you're talking about?
And I was like,
I haven't seen this.
oh man.
It's been 2 weeks, fam. It's like 40 minutes long to watch both of them.
Okay. I'll have to go watch them.
Man, it's
I watched
so
it during
good.
lunch yesterday.
I've been waiting for, because I was still in AIM when they said, we're going to do season 7, we're going to actually release it, and so I've been waiting for this since like 2017, and now it's finally out, and I watched the trailer for it time and time again. I am so stoked about this new season.
Yeah, so I didn't watch the unfinished one, so watching these two new ones were new to me.
Mhm.
And I'm a fan of the Bad Batch 99.
Me too.
They're pretty fun.
I'm a little annoyed with the big guy. He says some things where I'm just kind of like, shut up. Like,
It's just cheap comedic
Exactly.
relief.
I mean, like, part of this is you kind of got to remember that this was originally designed for kids.
And it grew into more mature
Right.
themes.
And so it definitely grew in some more things.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, gosh. I'm crazy excited about this season.
Yes.
Literally going hand in hand
11
with
episodes.
episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Gosh, that's incredible.
It's crazy.
Later down the line, we're going to see how Boba Fett gets his dent in his helmet.
Oh,
That's
something I didn't know I wanted to know.
a really cool thing.
Sounds
Oh,
fun.
I love it. I'm crazy excited for it.
Have you seen it yet, James? Slacker.
I'm
You and
not
Zach
the
need to go
biggest
watch
fan of the Clone Wars.
And for me, Clone Wars is the pinnacle of Star Wars.
Pretty much.
I like it a lot more than I like The Mandalorian. I like it a lot more than I like any of the movies. It is the best.
I could basically agree. So, I'm excited for it.
Oh, I'm super excited for it. I've been talking about this for months.
And I like how the tone and feel of it's the same. It's not like you can just switch over and be like, oh no, Disney ruined this.
Right.
Because it's like, straight following
It feels
line.
exactly like it, and I think part of the reason was it was
'Cause
basically
it was already,
made.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
finishing it up and getting credit and money. So
So one part that they changed from it. Well, I'll say this and we can just leave it. But you know the part where Anakin goes into the barracks and he's talking to Padme through
Yeah.
the hologram. What they had in the original thing was Padme was painted on the side of their ship as nose art. So back in the World War II times, they had all these sexy ladies on their plane,
oh yeah,
and it would be a representation of a real person, and they'd be like, "That's my lady." And so they did that with Padme in this, and so Anakin walks up and he's like, "What the heck is that?" And they're like, "Oh man, that's the senator from Naboo. That's our lady. She can do whatever she wants with me." And Anakin's like, "That's not staying up there." I mean, man, I
That's
loved
funny.
it. And
The
I
only
kind of
thing-
like that
that's
they
actually
did this
really
way
funny.
too.
The only thing I really know about the Clone Wars is a meme, and it's Anakin's Padawan or whatever, the
Ahsoka.
orange
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka asks Obi-Wan, "Hey Obi-Wan, what's the height of stupidity?" And then just Obi-Wan turns to Anakin, "How tall are you?"
Yeah, that's not a real thing that happened. People do that on Instagram a lot, where they take a scene and then throw in their own stuff.
Yeah.
And it's for me, it's really cringy.
Most of the time. So real quick, so I'm sure y'all been hearing about the Friends reunion that's coming out on their streaming service. But so it's a 1 hour unscripted reunion, and they each get paid $4 million for 1 hour.
Wow.
So they're bringing in $24 million just to make 1 hour of content.
So it's not even a show; it's just them being there talking to each other.
Yep, unscripted.
Yeah,
Whatever that value is to
Nice.
I don't know if I want to watch that.
I mean, for $24 million, sure.
you.
Well, we'll sit down, pop it up on Netflix. What's gonna be on
On the
regular TV?
no, it's exclusive on whatever streaming service. I just lost what it's called.
Oh,
Not
like
Peacock. Yeah, Peacock.
what? That's garbage. Oh, I'll
So
see
you're
the
gonna have to
highlights
get
on
the-
YouTube then.
Yeah, you
So
have to
is
get
that
the free trial.
Is that the NBC?
Hmm.
So are they removing Brooklyn Nine-Nine from Hulu?
Well, I have Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Netflix, but that's a different story.
That's your
You check
Canadian.
your VPN to be in
I'm in
South
Canada.
America.
I'm in Canada.
Oh, nice.
So, all right, let's hit these movies real quick. They're making a Borderlanders movie, and it's the
Borderlanders.
yeah.
Borderlanders.
That's
Oh
the most noob thing I've ever heard in my life.
You mean Borderlands?
yeah. I don't know why auto-corrected to Borderlanders. All right, and
with
it's directed by the
cosplayers.
guy that made the movie or that made the video games, and he wants to get
Really?
cosplayers
Hmm.
to be like the extras and stuff.
Oh,
I've never
that'd
heard
be
of-
dope.
I've never heard of like them making the movie and just get the person that made the game to direct it. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's
gonna be
why.
great.
That's why. Or no, it's the guy that he was writing it. He's not directing it.
Oh,
The guy that.
I mean, it's still.
Well, because at first people
Better
were
than nothing.
skeptical because it's the director who, his claim to fame is The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Like that's his best movie. I can't come up with his name. And so then like now he's doing video game movie, but then we found out it's the writer from the actual game. So
Very
Is
cool.
there a trailer?
It's still just like
they
Marvel.
just started it. I doubt there's a trailer already.
Yeah.
Unless you just watched the Borderlands 3 trailer.
Those games are awesome. Oh my gosh.
Is Lilith gonna be hot?
No, she will not be.
Absolutely. I don't know why. I think Lilith is the hottest character in the game.
What was the computer lady's name?
From what?
From Borderlands 2.
Angel.
Angel. Man, she was awesome for me. I was
I don't know.
Really
Can't play it until I
heartbroken
get a
about that
PS5.
game.
All
I
right.
haven't played any of the Borderlands games.
So,
unfortunately.
they're a lot of fun.
I've heard they're really fun. That's like the precursor to Destiny.
Yeah, it seriously is.
I need to continue playing Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Next
can wrap
movie.
up.
Oh, Knuckles, the voice actor for Knuckles that is supposed to be in the Sonic 2 movie is
The
rumored
Rock.
to be The Rock. Cause like literally, why not?
That's gonna be disgusting. Next movie.
TNT Netflix live action show
What is that?
Ninja Turtles.
Ooh, that would
It's a
be
show
weird.
though.
That'll be really weird. I hope they do.
Why'd you put TNT? It's TMNT.
Yeah, because like
Teenage
Dynamite
Mutant
Netflix
Turtles.
live action.
Teenage Ninja Turtles. They have to be mutant Ninja Turtles.
That'd be really weird. I hope they do the costumes from the 80s. That'd be
hilarious.
that would be
Terrifying.
funny. All right, last one. I just saw this like 10 minutes ago. Okay, Screen Rant. Tom Holland confirms that he's been talking to producers about making a Back to the Future remake.
I heard about that.
I didn't see this until just earlier. Dude, freaking Tom Holland as like Marty McFly, I'm guessing.
No, he's gonna play the dog.
They're gonna be reversed.
And they're gonna get Christopher Walken to play Marty McFly. I don't know.
So, there you go.
There's
There's all the stuff you could possibly need
go.
for an entire week.
Back in time.
Because Beta lost and Shucks a Donkey.
More cowbell.
All right. I think that's everything. We'll catch y'all next week.